Welcome everyone to Luna and the Druid and Karma.
And karma today.
She's
Wow.
pretty excited, so there might be a lot of noises. Please do let me know if there is an echo. Last time I noticed that there was some echo, so please let me know if techie stuff is all good, if you can hear us and see us properly. I would
Yeah.
greatly appreciate it.
There could
And
be
tonight,
all kind of techie stuff. We have solar flares.
yes, I'm feeling it pretty heavy. My body is trying to adapt to it, but it takes a
Yeah.
lot of energy. But
Yeah.
tonight is not all about solar flashes. Tonight
Oh
is
no.
even not just a conversation, it's an invitation to the sacred. It's the invitation to look into tools, rituals, practices, and moments that have helped humans connect to their intuition, healing, clarity, nature, spirit, spirit of themselves, spirit of nature.
Yeah.
Because you see, magic doesn't belong to only ancient temples or old tradition, old guidebooks. It exists in the ordinary moments. And tonight we will talk about that.
Yes. And we're going to investigate these rituals. We're going to investigate these spells, and we're going to investigate how to work them. So, how to prepare? What do we need? Are there tools? Are there ingredients we need? Is there knowledge we need? And then how to cast, how to bring them into the world, how to bring them into manifestation. Because
Yes.
it's all about manifestation.
Before we jump into it, Marjorie, Claire, and Suzanne, they all say hello. So lovely to have you here live saying hello.
Hello,
As
ladies.
always, we invite you to be active in the comment section, share your insights, your way of looking. I'm always curious, what is your view? Particularly today, I think it might be interesting to share all the tools you use in your everyday practice.
Yeah. And we all use them. And maybe we use them unconsciously too.
Yes.
Even when we do a magical act as cooking dinner, we use our tools. And we use tools that are closer to magic, but also use very normal everyday tools, but that have been used for many, many years. And yeah, what is magic in your perception, Luna?
Hmm, that's a really good question. Um, to me, magic is that moment with intention, that that ordinary, lighting a candle, seeing a beautiful sunset, pulling a tarot card when the soul needs clarity or the mind needs clarity, drinking ceremonial cacao with intention, writing and casting, building and creating things into existence,
Yeah,
tapping into emotions, and sitting quietly to hear yourself. That's not my definition of magic. This is where I see magic in everyday, ordinary, extraordinary, sacred aspects of life.
yeah. So in the way you say it, you could even say that whenever you're open to it, you can always experience magic. Just walk out the door, just walk in nature, and there's always something happening.
Exactly, because magic is not something, it's a state of being, it's a state of living the life, seeing the life through the lenses of joy, happiness, creation, conscious creation as well.
Yeah, yeah,
In
and then
this
like a more standard approach to talking about magic, or maybe even a definition of magic, would be something like creating change intentionally without actually moving or manifesting or changing stuff, you know. So that's also magic. That's more or less the standard book definition of magic, that you make changes without making changes. So with the mind, more or less, with intention.
Mhm. But tonight is not about magic. Perhaps that we should make a separate episode on that, and perhaps we
We
should
done,
start.
we done them already, a few. Yeah,
Tonight we want
it's
to focus more on magical tools, tools we can use to create and share our magic,
yeah, yeah,
tools we use consciously, with curiosity, with depth, and with presence.
yeah,
Yeah. Because,
yeah.
okay, let's start with a question actually. What
Okay, go.
makes something magical? Because at the end of the day, a tarot deck, and I'm sorry for saying it out loud, but a tarot deck or an oracle deck is just a piece of paper, right? A candle is just wax. A crystal, technically, it's a stone, it's a rock. So what makes it magical then?
Yeah, there's a few things. I have a few books by John Hughes. He's a Killarney Druid, and he writes about all kinds of magical stuff. And recently, I've reviewed two books of his for Pagan Island magazine. One was the Magic Wands of the Druids, and he says if you want to create a magic tool like a magic wand, you have to craft it yourself, and then it has still the life force, the life power in it, and you use it with intention. You craft it with intention, like this one that you can see. It has been created. It has been uh, modified. The bark is on there, but bark is partly stripped. So there's time and energy and intention went into the creation of this tool, and that makes it a real magic tool because you've worked with it. You've put your energy and your intention to it. You have created a magical zone, a magical bubble where you were in when you were making it, because the moment you're making this wand, you can't think of nothing else than crafting. So that's a very intentional moment. So I think um, a tool crafted with intention is more or less by nature, simply by its nature, the most powerful magical tool. But but that doesn't mean that any other thing that you use, whether bought or gifted to you or found or however it came to you, can can't have magic. So you can have the very, the very strict approach, say yes, you have to create your magic tools, or you can have a thing, okay, I put my intention in my actions, I put my intention in other ingredients that I work with, and then you create a magic tool as well, and it can be just as powerful or just as resultful, have the same result than this specifically dogmatic crafted magic wand that I have here.
Yes, well, you probably could see my face expression going exploding with all the no's. What a BS. You don't have to create your own tool. Yes,
I said
it's
that. I said
intentional.
it.
Yes, please let me
Yeah,
finish.
yeah.
Yes, it's more powerful when you do it yourself, but you don't have to. What I agree 100% with you and what you said, it is the intention. You don't have to create your own deck in order to work with it. You don't have to go and mine your own crystal to be able to work with that. So this is the part, and I'm sharing only my opinion here, of course. You
Mhm.
don't have to make it all. You don't have to create it all. What is needed is to put your intention and energy. Ideally, make a ritual to start working with the tool. Yes, but before we go further, Claire says magic is having your five and sixth sense to enjoy the world we live in. I so love this. When one doesn't work, the others heightened in terms of senses. And also Claire says, I don't have a cauldron, but love my kitchen pots, pans, and the stove. Yes, we will definitely talk about that later.
Yeah.
And exactly, because the moment the intention enters, everything changes. The piece of paper starts to bring messages, opens the door for clarity, for answers. The moment we have an intention to work with a crystal, so the crystal could help us, it weaves the magic in. Because at the end of the day, intention is very connected to the belief. Because if you won't believe that the crystal will help you, it won't. Even if it does have some certain properties, I think belief here is a base which we can lie on top of it, an intention.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you could even say you with intention and with powerful magic intent, you can even work without tools.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
However, humans have always infused objects with meaning, like
and I love that
prayer
too.
beads. Yes, the big kind of necklace, like prayer beads. Yeah, wedding rings, sacred symbols, ceremonial clothing, herbs, altars, ceremonies using fire. It has a deeper meaning. Um, yeah, but as you say, sometimes, because you see, our mind. I have difficulties with speak today. I'm not having the best day energy wise, so apologies for that. It's difficult for me to concentrate. What I'm trying to say here is that the power of a mind itself is very underestimated. The way we speak, the way we think, the way our beliefs are shaped within us, that itself creates reality. That itself creates our world, because there is nothing outside of ourselves. What we see, the way we see the world, is not the reflection of the world, is the reflection of what's in our mind, what's within our subconscious, what's within the vessel we carry ourselves within the body.
Yeah, yeah, it's right that that what we experience is more or less defined by our belief system.
Mm-hmm.
There's even examples that if you don't expect a boat coming, it takes longer to observe the boat coming down the river. Or when the Indians saw the Europeans coming to America, they couldn't believe there were boats in the sea because they never saw it. And there's actually one interesting fact that I learned today, that was that people who are born blind can't experience schizophrenia.
Oh,
So yeah, because
interesting.
they have no imagination because they can't see, have never seen, and they lack that part of disconnect from the reality that causes schizophrenia, because that's what it caused. That's what came out of this research, when they noticed that
Interesting.
nobody born blind in the world develops schizophrenia. So
Schizophrenia
seeing,
is having too many emotional conflicts unresolved, and that's the way the body escapes.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
according
people will process
to the
that in a
Valerian.
different
But
way.
that's fascinating. Thank you for sharing.
It is.
There is another definition of magic here. Magic is to see the world through the eyes of your inner child. Everything that makes you very happy and joyful. I love that, Marjorie. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
sharing.
you.
And yes, that's the thing. If just very quickly, you know, guys, that I love everything about subconscious, working with limiting beliefs, and also I cannot not say everything we say, everything we think, consciously or unconsciously, is a spell, and a very powerful spell. And most people live, unfortunately, unconsciously. So they live under a spell of I'm not enough. I'm too much. I will never succeed. I'm not lovable. I have to struggle. I have no money. This is a ritual too. It's just unconscious ritual of repeating and creating reality by casting spells, by using the words to create the reality. But maybe we'll come back to that way of working with
Yeah.
magical tools. Because knowing us, at least I would love to start with our favorite tool, which is tarot or cards.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Cards in itself, yeah. Tarot and cards, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Why do I want to talk about tarot first? Because that was the one of the first tools, sacred tools, that truly changed my life. Um, what is interesting that people often see tarot as a tool predicting the future, but not for me. Yes, it can be used, but predicting the future is only one thing of the way and we can use actually tarot. Because to me, tarot is a mirror. The key to get the questions and answers. However, tarot can be also used in spellwork, in casting and creating, manifesting.
It's interesting you mentioned that because in my research for today, I found one of my old tarot magic books, and I found a picture of tarot magic, which I created, and I prepared it to show it tonight. So maybe we'll start with that, so you can see. This is interesting. What you see here is, as you recognize the cards, it's the zodiac laid out in tarot cards from Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, with the four aces in the middle, the three elemental cards on top, and two knights as they were there for the specific spell. But the part where you lay out the 12 zodiac cards, the four aces, and the three elemental cards is the basis of all this spell work. And you lay them so that Aries is in the east, so Libra in the west, Cancer in the south, and Capricorn in the north. And more or less you project yourself into this magical spell, and work there. And as you can see, there is my magic wand laying on the table, and my Vecvizier Vecvizier platter. So very interesting. What I use for this spell, as well, as you can, the ones who know the Toss Tarot will see that this is a modified tarot deck because it has no borders. A normal Toss Tarot deck has borders and words on them, and so this is a deck where I say, okay, which is also something I crafted with in order to get uh, a deeper connection with the cards. And I worked with a crafted, a modified deck for a similar reason, not necessarily because we must, but because I think it brings something extra just to play with your cards and cut them, cut them and make nice corners and stuff like that. Yeah. So
Lovely.
yeah, that's spell work with tarot, and that's a totally different thing. And like you said, what do you do with your cards, besides reading
Yes,
divination?
it seems all complicated, but in reality, it's not. Because, for example, if you want to manifest love, you can pull out the cards from tarot which represent love for you. That would be the lovers. That could be Two of Cups, for example. And you can either put it on your altar and work with it, work with that energy, or you could do a reading by choosing that card and asking specific questions like for example, what is that I need to do in order to prepare myself for the love of my life to enter my life, whatever. So there is plenty of ways using energy of tarot, using the energy the cards bring, and use them. And Claire says, fascinating and great visual image. I knew you're going to love
Thank
it.
you.
Claire is also a tough lover and tough user.
Yeah.
I personally think, just to add to something what you said, yes, crafting, working with your favorite tool brings and puts your own energy. There is that connection, there is that deepening of the energy. It's like with me and my light seer tarot. We just can speak with we can connect and communicate with each other without words. However, as a modern witch, I can take any deck and start reading with it. And yes, some decks speak to me immediately. Some decks are like, okay, I can't read this. One time I even had a situation that I brought to the holistic fair, completely new deck, and I pulled out the cards and I looked at them and it was like, I can't see anything. I can't hear anything. And it turned out this deck is for me and for me only. It didn't want me to use it for other people. It wanted me to work with me and my energy. So it's a sacred my deck, which I use only for myself.
Yeah.
And element of intuition here is super, super important when working with cards.
Yeah. What I agree on with you is all these working with cards. I think what we could add to that is you could you could meditate on a card. I love that. Just take the card out and then take a special deck like the deck you said. This deck is only for me, and take out a card which represents something you want or something you struggle with or something you want to manifest or something you want to let go. Put it in front of you. Do a silent meditation or a guided meditation for yourself, and maybe gaze to make your eyes as small as possible that you can still see the cards, and then meditate on the card and its meaning and what it means to you. And
You
there's
don't like meditating? Journal about it. Write about it instead of going within, because for some people it will be difficult. Taking
yep,
a journal and doing the same thing instead of in your mind, writing things which come up is also a
yeah,
beautiful tool to work
yeah,
with cards and with tarot
yeah, yeah.
specifically.
For instance, my favorite meditation deck is the Tabula Mundi, which is a toss-based deck drawn by a modern artist, Mel Meline. This is the Eon card, the card of the end and the new beginning. And what's fascinating about this card are the backs. There's I don't know if you can see that, but it says A to Abacadabra, and every line adds a new letter to the word. So this is pure. This is pure a magical tool. This deck. This is an Abacadabra, a Telema manifestation deck with fire and magic. It's
Is,
wonderful.
as far as I'm not mistaken, abracadabra means I speak into the existence.
I speak into existence. Yeah.
Yes, it's not just a word we randomly
No, 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 no. Absolutely not. No, it's a spell. It's a magical word. Yeah.
yes. I love that cards, particularly tarot, speak in symbols. So those symbols can bypass logic, just like nature. So having that connection with cards can be very helpful, because sometimes we can get those intuitive messages about what we are wanting to manifest, what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and that's really lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes way further. By the way, do you have a pendulum, Jolanda?
I do. Unfortunately, I can't move to get it right now because I have a little one on my lap.
Yeah. So if we say okay, magic of divination, a pendulum is a very simple because it's just a pendulum, but a simple divination tool. And I know that many people only use it to say for yes and no meditation or for yes and no spell work. You take an object, you say, "Shall I eat this tonight?" And first, if the pendulum goes like this, will this mean a yes for you? You calibrate your pendulum, and you know that when it does this, it should mean no. So these are yes no divination with a pendulum, but you could do a spectrum of 100 message 100 different things which you can pendulum about, and it's not just seeing if food is still edible or an object you're buying, is it for you. You can do yes no spells with it, but it's another very interesting tool.
Working
Sacred.
with pendulum requires connection with pendulum. So you always ask the pendulum, is it divine to use it right now? Are your energies right to work with it? The
Yeah,
next question you ask is, show me how you say yes and show me how you say no, because for every single
calibration.
person it might be different. And
Yeah,
with pendulum, just like Jan said, you can ask simple questions as well as you can use charts, which can give you an ideal answer to your question. It's beautiful. There is so many modalities which actually work with using pendulum, but sometimes pendulum is not needed especially for the questions yes or no, because you can use your body to do the same thing. I again cannot stand up, but you can use muscle testing. You can use your body to show you a yes or no answer. So quickly, I just want to show you one very simple thing. Put your hands, your mid, the, those two fingers. I'm not gonna stress
mhm.
on
Thumb
remembering
and
the name of
index.
those two, a thumb and the pointing or
Index.
whatever. Anyway, those two fingers you put in a circle like this, right? Think of love, the word love. Think of the word love, war. What happens? If is a positive connection you have, like love, the fingers will stay connected. Think of war, they immediately break. And this is equivalent of saying yes or no. So you can ask the same question. Am I feeling 100% of my energy today? No. Do you see that? How simple it is? Do I love karma? Yes. Is karma my soulmate? Yes. Is karma a cat? No. This is how subconscious body works, and this is what pendulum works on as well. The same signal from the body, which is an antenna.
Wow.
Uh, yes, you can do the same thing with pendulum. I'm actually working right now with a lady
Yeah.
who uses pendulum with charts, so she can pinpoint every single thing just by using a pendulum and a specific chart. She can point me into a certain emotions. She can point into a blockage, whatever. You ask the question, and then with
Mhm.
pendulum, you can receive the answer if
Yeah.
you pair it up with some extra tools like charts. And Claire says,
Actually,
why does this happen without getting too technical? I think that's incredible. This is the response of subconscious. This is the nervous system response. If there is many ways of doing it, if there is a person next to you, you can also, it's this pure kinesiology. If unfortunately you can't see me, but if there would be another person, you can also push the arm. Yes stays up, no goes down. You can use your body. Usually the response for me, if you're standing up in a north direction, the yes would be the body going forward, and the
mm,
no would be the body leaning
yeah,
backwards. But
experience this. Yeah.
also pressing, super experienced people can also feel it within this fourth ring finger, and you can slightly feel the difference within the tense of your muscles. If you say yes and if you say no, there is a slight difference. I personally use this one the most because it works for me the best, as well as using the body as a vehicle to say yes or no. Kinesiology is the magical,
Yeah.
magical, whatever it is. I'm sorry, guys, but you can tell that today I'm not fully myself, but that's okay.
A similar tool actually are the rods.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can already see that they're very active today.
Oh, yeah.
So if I change direction, they will whoop, and if I go back again,
Yes.
they come back together again. So
You
that
can
it works
also ask
on.
them questions, yes or no question. There's plenty
Yeah.
videos on TikTok, people asking like, is the Trump incarnation of Hitler whatsoever? And the magic roads go in and out as well.
Yes. Yeah, I use this mostly for earthwork. So
Mm.
um, I occasionally work for farmers or people who have energy problems in their house, and we go over the land, find ley lines, find underground water, or find block lines to their homes. Remember having a home where when there were children, there would always be children that. And that's why it wasn't lived in for 50 years or something. Children dying, and I found out that the part of the house, part of the angle in the wall was built over a ferry road, and that caused it. They you don't mess in Ireland. You don't mess with the ferries, and they did, and and it happened. And but with the pendulum, I could find out where it was, and even that just if they just removed 2 meters of the house and put up a new wall and maybe built some extension on the other side, it would be good. And so they finally found a way how to make this house work for them, live in that again. So, and that's what the rods helped me to do. And I could exactly pinpoint with the rods where the place was where things go wrong.
You don't have a pendulum, you don't have magical rods, but you still want to have a pendulum, no problem. I'm sure you
Mhm.
have a necklace or a ring. All you can do as well is to take it out
Yep.
and also put a ring on a piece of string or a necklace, and you can ask it, pendulum, show me how you say yes. Pendulum, show me how you say no. As you can see, I'm not moving my hand. The response is immediate. This is also um, a great tool you can use to check
Absolutely. Yeah.
everything Jan just said about. And Claire says, "Oh, I just tried the ring finger." One asked if my name is Claire, was one light pressure. Asked if my name was Adam, straight away more pressure. Epic. So you see, guys,
Epic.
it works. This is simple magic of the body, and I definitely want to talk about it a little bit more,
Yeah.
perhaps later. Something tells me that we might not finish today, but let's see.
We'll
So
see.
let's move on to
Yeah.
another element, which is fire. Using fire, rituals, candles, burning stuff, because fire is one of humanity's oldest tool, sacred tool. People gathered around fire
Yeah.
long before the modern spirituality existed. Fire transforms, it destroys, it purifies, it releases, it creates light, carries warmth. It's the life force, it's the energy of wands, of passion, of that burning life within us, even though technically life is air. Um,
Yeah.
but the fire is that energy which brings us forward, is that drive to go and move.
Yeah. And of course, fire is very much used in magic rituals. Even last weekend, we're in May now, so here in Ireland we do celebrate La Bieltana, and the big national fire festival was held last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, in the heart of Ireland in Ishnach, and It was big. There were huge fires. It's a fire that in this case transforms part of transformation it does, it cleanses the the idea of winter. So the memory of that is that the farmers chased their cattle that were in the barns all winter through two fires, uh, in order to remove all the bugs and insects from them. uh, Love couples jump over the fires at Bieltena, and so big fire, big transformations, magic, real fire magic. Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, we have our small fires, our smudge sticks, our Palo Santo. We have our incenses. Um,
As well as local herbs, because it doesn't have to be
yeah,
Palo Santo or white sage. Those are pretty popular these days,
yeah,
but you have plenty of even local for Ireland herbs like mugwort. You can burn rosemary, bay leaves, which are not local. However, I have plenty of them growing outside of my house. So to me, this is growing locally, even though bay leaves are actually come from Mediterranean. But why is the fire is so powerful? Because again, there is that intention. Because fire helps to release, transform. Simple ritual like putting down things on a paper you want to let go of. To me, that would be a full moon ritual. You put it on the paper and then you burn it. And somehow you feel the shift. Somehow you can feel that something's changing inside because the nervous system understands the symbolic. Not to mention that if we put things down on the paper, we are usually ready to let go of that. And that burning and using that element of fire where we see things transforming, when we see that thing which is blocking us just turning into ash, that's very powerful.
yeah.
But
Oh,
as very simple act of lighting a candle with an intention, this is here we're talking like basic witchcraft, setting that intention, using a certain color to even bring more energy to boost the power of that ritual. But again, it's all intention, it's all being present with
yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, and how many people, and these are not witches, these are also normal people, say there's someone with an illness in the family, or someone died, or there's, oh, I light a candle for you.
Yes,
That's small, but it's already an act of magic. It's
absolutely.
already a ritual, and the candle is already a ritual tool to uh, to transform something, to make something happen, non-physical, even non-local. But I'm burning a candle for you. Yeah,
Mhm. Yes. Um, because you brought herbs, incense, let's briefly talk about nature's magic, earth magic, which is your thing as a druid. Druids
yeah,
have that very strong connection. Because to me, nature itself is a sacred medicine, is a tool itself. When you go out in nature, your mind calms down. You get to connect with your intuition. You get to hear the voice of your intuition way more clear. You may experience something which we can call downloads, which are those aha moments where all of a sudden the questions you've been asking yourself get answered. Your nervous system calms down. You get connected to the world, which we are very disconnected from these days in modern times. Because to me, nature is sacred itself, it's a sacred medicine. And people worked with plants, with herbs, long before the pharmaceutical industry even existed. They used lavender to calm themselves for calming purposes. Rosemary for clarity, protection, boosting the memory as well. Mugwort for dreams and intuition. Rose for the heart, for the feeling of love. And I am not a herbalist. Marjorie is, though, so she might say more about this. But all those herbs, like, I'm a believer that for everything which is bothering us, there is a cure in nature. There is a plant growing which can help that. Ginger boosts immunity, helps to fight infections. Garlic, thyme, those are very antibacterial herbs which have those properties which can help you to fight flu, for example, or cold, and so on and so on. So by connecting to nature, we can weave its magic into our everyday life, into our kitchens, into our homes. Not to mention that there are some forest bathing. People always love to be around water. Why? Because it's soothing the energy system. Um, Being under the moonlight all of a sudden charges us. When there is a full moon, we can't sleep as well as good as we usually can, because it helps us to stay up, because full moon brings up the connection to intuition. Why, when we are overwhelmed, we tend to escape to nature? Because this is a medicine itself. This is a sacred ritual itself. At least, at least to me.
Yeah. Well, to me, as a Druid, we always say we see the sacred in nature. We experience the sacred in nature. Um, Here we come to where we combine the tools with the animistic beliefs, where we just say, okay, uh, there is the divine in a rock, there is the divine in a river, there's a holy waterfall, a holy tree, a sacred tree, um, and that's there the environment itself becomes the magical tool, and the tool of transformation. And sitting in nature, it has been done for as long as people can remember by the old shamans. There's words for it. For instance, I know the Viking shamans call it utasita, which means sitting outside, and just sitting outside on a place. I do it too. I have a lovely mountain behind my house, and I go to the highest peak, and there's a lovely stone and an edge, and I sit on the stone and on the edge, and the magic just happens. You can do nothing about it. It just manifests itself, and the visions, the ideas, the inspiration naturally flows through you from the stone, from the view, from the river down in the valley, from the mountains that are surrounding. This magical feeling just comes. It manifests itself. You can do nothing about it when you sit, especially on your own, which is in some places very hard to achieve. A place where you can be just on your own, nobody watching you, outside nature. It's just the elements and you, and boom,
Yes.
nature is your tool.
And Claire summarizes this beautiful. Nature has the answers for free. Pharmaceuticals charge us. Marjorie says here, the power of herbs is powerful. I love to use blue lotus and saffron infused oil to help me be closer to my intuition. And Claire says here earlier on, I love I love it when a piece of wood doesn't burn all the way through to produce charcoal. This is a magical tool. It came from earth as a tree, burned with fire, then transforms into a tool for a creative mind. Absolutely.
Yeah,
This is the power of nature. Nothing gets wasted in nature. It just serves a different purpose. Um, yes.
it does.
I think that's it when it comes to comments. I love the element of fire, and I love all the rituals where I use the energy of fire in so many ways. It's beautiful.
But in general, all the elements are beautiful.
Oh, totally.
Water, water. We just did a whole series this winter on the elements and the magic of water, the cleansing energy of water, the 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 cleaning energy of air, and yeah, and then the grounding energy of earth. And
Yeah. Let's move on
beautiful.
to next powerful tool, which is journaling, writing, channeling, using the movement of a hand with a connection with an ink, with a paper. It's a ritual itself because writing can reveal truth. Sometimes when our mind is very cluttered, all we need to do is take a piece of paper and start to write down, start to bring whatever is here onto the paper, especially on that, especially if nobody will read it. That gives a sense of freedom. And obviously, this can be used as casting spells, creating things into existing. Because what is spelling? It's literally creating things into
Words.
existence. Words, yes. And I'm always very mindful of what I say, what I speak out loud, obviously what I think, but even more cautious and conscious of what I speak out, because words have power. Written words and then read have even more power because it's just the tool for creation itself.
Yeah, yeah,
I remember Jan mentioned the artist way many, many years ago, and I had this book for years on my bookshelf. I just didn't happen to find time to do it. So I gave it a go when my puppy was very little. So we had a little ritual in the morning that I was writing, and she was sleeping on me just like she is right now, except she was way smaller back then. And I remember the sense of ease within my mind it was bringing me, because even if I didn't know what to think, I was using that time to just get whatever was clouded here outside, and then I could start my day more free, more clear, with more clarity, with more sometimes purpose when the creative idea came
yeah,
about. And that's one way of using writing. The other way is just casting spells and creating spells by using certain rules for creating and casting the magic through words as well. What I am really mindful of is the songs I listen to, the things, the books I read, because they also create our state, and whatever we consume, writing or reading, is actually bringing our mood either up, if it's something positive, if it's something creative, boosting up, giving us energy. But this also can bring us down, lowering our energy. So words are one of the most powerful
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, the method you're referring to, what's written in the book, The Artist Way, is actually called morning pages. And the morning pages concept is it's very easy. You take a journal or a notebook, you write first thing in the morning 3 pages of brain dump. Just doesn't matter what you write, as long as you keep on writing till you finish your 3 pages. And you will notice that when you did it consciously, it gets easier and easier. And you will notice that because you have already organized your thoughts for the day, that the rest of the day will go easier and easier. The things will flow because you have already, like, the mind is already a bit empty. The idea of having so many things to do is gone.
tools. Yeah. And
I
Claire
couldn't.
says here, I could not do the artist's way. It sort of felt unnatural. realizing that I wasn't going to force it was more liberating. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, there's no. That's the funny thing of us people. You know, we're all the same. We're all one, but we're all different.
Yes.
And there's no one method. There's no one religion. There's not one path that suits all. And you find your own path. Find what works for you, and do that. And for me at the moment, it's tarot. There is some coaching, and this is what I love, what is my passion, what's my true passion, what sets me on fire, and it works.
Hmm. Obviously, we could not mention typical witchy tools here, like cauldron, which you burn stuff in. And as Claire pointed out earlier, you don't have to have it. The pot, a kitchen pot, will be enough. Speaking
Yeah,
of pots, you can create magic in your kitchen by putting intention into food you make for yourself or your family, infusing it with love and gratitude. That's creating a magic in self, because what you consume, you become. If you
yeah,
create your food in rush with an intention of just stuffing yourself, guess what? Your life will look at. But if you just pause for a second to thank all the way those magical ingredients came to you, bless the hands which made them, planted the seed, gathered, or so on, so on. Bless your own hand for preparing it. Um, this is where the real magic happens of
yeah.
every day. Obviously, there are different tools like Atamaze. Have you have your Atamaze somewhere handy? Yes, that's a proper and nice
That's a
one.
big one. Yeah,
Yes, used in rituals, in spell casting, for cutting, clearing the cords as well,
yeah,
opening letters, binding papers with spells written. What else
yeah,
you could use your Atame for from the druidic perspective? Do you use
yeah.
that in your rituals?
Yeah, but casting a circle, which I just did, normally you held it in front of you, so you're pointing it. You start in the east, and then you say the magic words, the circle of our creation, the circle of life, birth, growing, finalizing, dying, and rebirth. As we cast a circle, the material world subsides. This is a magical time. This is a magical place.
Mhm.
And that's why and while you say these words, you just walk around, point the circle to all four directions till you're back in the east again, and then you say the circle is now cast, and may our ritual begin. And at the end of the ritual, you do it counterclockwise, and then then the magic world subsides again, and the manifested world opens up again. And that's a lovely way of a tool and a spell combined. Yeah.
Totally. And Claire says here, jacket potatoes that took an hour and a half this evening, they were worth waiting for. Yes, sometimes we get opportunities to practice
Yeah.
patience, for example. And then if we do, then it gets blessed and rewarded. My Atame was a brass letter opener. However, I accidentally lost it, and now I use my finger.
That's just as good as
Yeah.
a wand, an atom, a finger. The thing with alchemical stuff like cooking. There's a few things that I still want to mention. For instance, jacket potatoes that took an hour and a half. You usually put them in the oven or in a slow cooker or whatever, and for a while you can leave them be. But I think dishes that require less time, um, never never leave the pot out of the eye. And especially, when you're cooking, stay present, stay close to the work, because things can burn, the water can dampen, and things can go wrong. But if you're there, it's I love that. I love to be present when I cook and watch the whole process. And there's actually a story of the Cauldron of Wisdom. That's legend, where Gwion had for a witch who was pregnant, had to stay day and night with the cauldron because a magical potion was brewing, which would um, contain 3 drops, and the 3 drops would be given to her newborn child, and that child would know everything and become a great sorcerer, a great magician. Unfortunately, just when the thing was finished, Guion spilled 3 drops on his finger, licked them off, and he and he had the magical the magic of seeing and knowing everything, so he could run away and flee from the witch, which required some transformations and some transmutations into different animals, and eventually he was reborn as the wizard Merlin or Taliesin. Yeah, very very lovely story, with the cauldron, with magic, and with the tools that made it happen, the spoon and the cauldron. Yeah.
Mm. And one of the most beautiful thing about spirituality is that that path is very personal. That the rituals become your own. That we can talk here about tools, and your tools can be totally different, because your sacred practices involve you, and it's up to you to create your own magical toolkit. It doesn't need to be complicated. If you want to, it can, but sometimes it's can be very simple, like deck of cards, journaling, nature walks, breathing, breath work, silence, listening to some music, intuitive dance, having some crystals in your pocket or your altar, creating an altar with an intention, altar for prosperity, for more love, whatever it is. Because what is really important here to remember, that the candle is not magic. The tarot is not magic. The crystals are not magic. You are. And with that said, thank you so much for being here tonight with us. I enjoyed talking about this. If there is anything you would like us to perhaps go deeper on, any topic we mentioned today, feel free to let us know in the comments, and we will be happy to do so. Share in your comments what are your favorite spiritual tools, magical tools for your everyday use, and maybe special ritual uses as well. Thank you so much. I'm sending you lots of love and lots of light.
And lots of magic.
It's a kind of magic.